Cornucopias is a cutting-edge open-world MMO set in a world where humanity has ascended from the Earth's surface and created a breathtaking new world in the sky. This fantastical realm is a system of floating islands carved from the land we once called home, now encased in radically advanced dome-shaped structures suspended high above the clouds. Each one is a futuristic marvel with its own unique environment, identity, and thriving communities. It is within these domes the epic journey begins. Here, players take control of their own personal avatar, which gives them the freedom to choose their destiny. Be immersed in vast landscapes, explore vibrant settlements, and engage in a myriad of activities such as crafting, commerce, combat, racing, and more. Welcome to a world where the sky is no longer the limit.
Hey everybody, welcome to COPICafe. This is episode 128. You've got Rob Gregg here, Josh Jones. We've got some fun topics for you today. We're going to do an overall build update, talk a little bit about Rumbleball, Holocaches, Aero Trails, and then some exciting stuff around the land. And I know many of you have been curious about what's going on with the land grab and some other things associated with that. So we're going to give you some fun things to think about in the meantime while we're still in development. Rob, what are you drinking today, sir?
Well, I was going to get the coldest thing in the fridge, and then when I realised that was a beer, I thought, nope, it's only 4 o'clock, it's not 5 o'clock. So I'm actually going for...
Wait, 5 o'clock is your hour? Diet Coke, okay.
No, it's always 5 o'clock some weather. I went for a diet, but it's a little bit busted. Look at this.
Yeah, it looks like that had a little trouble on the shipping route. Yeah.
So who knows?
I better tap the top. I don't know if that actually works or not, but...
It made my camera go blurry.
Spindrift, grapefruit flavored.
Nice.
That's my choice of the day. All right, let's kick it off. It's going to be a fun episode. So, overall update on the build. We know that all of you guys, or many of you that are watching, are very interested in this next build that's coming out. We are as well. There's so much in this next build that we're excited about. And as usual, like when you have a build of this magnitude that's coming out, especially when you add in the complexities created by the Avatar 3.0, there's a lot that we have to navigate through to get it to a place where it's shipping ready and ready for you guys to play it. But we've got some fun stuff that's happening. We're making significant progress. I think we should be moving on to resolving some combat issues and finalizing combat later this week. The Avatar 3.0 is going really well, working through a lot of the bugs there. The QA team is about to have a ton of testing to be doing on the fixes that we've been making along the way. And so busy 2 weeks ahead, but things are going really well. And I think we're definitely getting closer to that moment where we can give you guys a date and give you guys the build. So exciting stuff there. Rob, you want to give us? Oh, looks like
I was going to say we also there's a few material issues as well with Unreal Edit. So we've upgraded our version of Unreal now to 5.5.4. So that happened as well.
Oh, very, very nice. Yep, a lot happening behind the scenes to resolve issues and bugs, etc. But I'll say this before we go into some of the game loop updates that you've and the team have been making. Let's talk about the Avatar 3.0. So I was talking about this with David yesterday. There are less than 10 games in the world. We want you guys to know this so that you know how significant this is. There are less than 10 games in the world that have an avatar builder with this much power and quality behind it. This Avatar 3.0 is putting us in a very elite league of games in terms of having the ability to create and the power to really change and make something perfectly unique to the degree that you want it to be. And David was talking about, we had those avatar contests last with the last builder with Avatar 2.0.
Yeah, they were cool.
Yeah, those are fun. And but this one really gets you a lot closer to be able to get it very, very similar to the whoever the lookalike is that you're trying to build towards. So we will probably have another avatar creator contest with this one when it's out. It's going to be a lot of fun. And
That'll be good to see people's version 2 versus version 3.
Yeah, we could do a comparison. We could do the same.
They could
do
create,
the same.
they could create the same one they created before.
Yeah, create the same actor or actress you created before. Yeah, that could be a lot of fun. So that's going to be a fun contest. And the reason I brought that up to you is the small number of games that have an avatar creator of this caliber and with this amount of power for really creating with it. I mean, that's a huge barrier to entry. You can't. This is incredibly complex. There's a reason so many games don't go after something like this. It's because it's hard. It's incredibly difficult. So there's a high barrier to entry. So there can't be many that have it. And so we're excited to be able to say that we're in a small group of people that have done this and done it well. Yeah. Because Avatar 3.0, as David has mentioned, should be enough. There's just going to be minor tweaks. That's the major foundation for our avatars. And there's just going to be minor tweaks to that from here on out. All right, Rob, why don't you take us through?
It's going to be one of those things that you don't care about until you do.
Yeah, that's possible too.
When Asman was talking about it, and he'll understand the level of creativity that goes into it.
Yeah.
But don't share the project with him yet; it's too early.
Huh?
Don't share the project with him yet; it's too early.
No. Yeah, we're not ready for Asman. We got a little bit more to get accomplished, but we're not that far either. So you want to take us through some of the new game loop additions, Rumbleball, Holocaches, Aero Trails, some of that stuff?
Yes, Holocaches it was a little bit broken. We're working on that. Hopefully that will be fixed. We've updated it to 100 Holocaches. So those that like gathering them, they've been scattered around further. The mythics are in mythical places. The legendaries are in legendary places. So they are, expect some to be harder to find than others. There is now some also in the city area. So some of them have been moved. And I think it'll be fun. I like the Holocaches.
Yeah, absolutely. Rumbleball?
Yeah, and actually it's a lot harder to move them than you'd think. It's very, very fiddly. So Rumbleball is Rumbleball was an experiment, and it's going to continue to be an experiment. So we're working on something which I'm hoping will make the build. We'll have to see how it plays out, because it's very complicated to move balls. When you see games like Rocket League and FIFA, they do all kind of magic tricks. They don't use anything that's necessarily in the engine. They write their own net code and a lot of maths trickery that's going on. Well, we're not at that level. So Rumbleball is what it is. But what we're doing with it, and it didn't take long to do this, we've added some new physics to the ball. So the ball is now bouncy, whereas before it was a bit like a bowling ball. It's also twice the size, which is very interesting. And as you score, you get more than one ball. So it's multi-Rumbleball. So I think all of those together, let's see how it plays. Maybe we get a bit of life back into it. But I mean, I've played with it. It's really good to head the ball now. That bounces away. And the multi-ball, I think it'll play really cool. So that's Rumbleball.
Yeah, bring a little chaos into it.
Yeah, I probably took about a day to do that. So that's not long to do. Then Aero Trails. Okay, so a couple of things with Aero Trails. The original course that people are playing now plays quite well, but what we've done is we've slightly extended part of it. So not by much. So don't freak out too much. But I think the change is pretty cool. But we're also looking at putting an Aero Trails within Solace. So that will go in the next few days, and hopefully, if that doesn't clash, the leaderboard doesn't clash with what we've got, because of the underlying code, it's a bit late in the build to do any changes at that level. But if that doesn't clash, then that will be released. If it does clash, then we'll do some updates and they'll be in the next build. But we will definitely have more trails. Hopefully in Solace. Don't know which one yet. One of the three. We'll surprise you when we find out. We'll have to see. I think that brings you up to date.
Okay. Yeah, that's all exciting stuff.
Lots of
I'm
gameplay.
definitely looking forward to getting in and trying some of that out. I think it'll be a lot of fun. Some good improvements there. And, back to the overall build that we've got going. We've got new guns coming in, combat.
Mhm.
There's the Terra tunnel.
Ooh.
There's the new parking area that's been built out. There's the mines. We've got mines,
Yep.
Aero Trails, Rumbleball, Holocache.
The drone shooting.
Do what?
The drone shooting. Oh, we mentioned that.
Drone shooting.
Oops.
What are you talking about? Is that a leak?
I think so.
Are we allowed to announce that?
Mm. Yeah, it's fine. We've just did.
Mm.
We'll speak to David. If you're watching this, he hasn't cut it. If you're not watching it,
True.
You won't know.
Okay. So, that's a lot. There's a lot coming in this build, and it's going to be a ton of fun. So we can't wait to get it out to you guys. Complexities. We're navigating through the bugs, but it's coming. Okay. All right. That brings us to the land that everybody has been so excited about. Listen, we know you guys are eager for the land grab, and we are as well. Basically, the reason for the change, the tech is ready for us to do the land grab for the most part. There's a few little back end things that need to be done, but for the most part, the tech is ready. The issue is we really wanted to have something for you guys to do on the land, so it had something a little bit more meaningful when we launch it, because it is a big event. This has not been done before at this quality in gaming, where you have, and especially, I mean, there's some crypto projects that have done land grabs and things of that nature, but we're talking about AAA quality, experience where you're the only owner of the property. It's not been done in mainstream gaming where you're the only owner of that property. They'll sell out a property hundreds, if not thousands of times. And so this is truly special. And we want to give it the weight of it being truly special to you guys by having enough to, things to do on the property to make it a little bit more significant and marketable. So that's the reason for the delay. But that being said, much of that is underway, and the building, being able to build on the land, a lot of that has already been coded and put together. So there's some integration stuff that needs to happen there, but for the most part, we're trucking along, and it's coming along quite nicely. So we're going to commit to announcing a date to you guys in the near future. Wait, so commit to announcing a date within a certain date. Should I even say that?
Well, as long as you don't commit to the date that you're going to commit to announcing the date, you'll be fine.
Sorry, guys. There's a lot of moving parts. It's really hard to pick a date, and then with the complexity on top of it, we're really trying to move that forward for you. It's not that far off, but we definitely want to get it done sooner rather than later. That is a very high priority item for us. Just know that.
It will be this year.
Do what?
100% will be this year.
100% what?
Will be this year.
Will be this year. Yes. Yeah. So you came a little quiet there. Definitely this year. Okay. So other announcements that helps.
Is this better?
Just talk only right there. Other announcements would be around the land grab. There's other reasons that there's more to this, and we want to give you some of that as well. So overall, one of our values as a company is player empowerment. Empowerment through ownership of assets, empowerment through governance in our ecosystem, etc. And one of the things that we want to do is, well, okay, I'm gonna talk about this certain level of empowerment closer to the end of this segment, but player empowerment is important to us. We also we want to have you guys able to. We're trying to solve certain problems with where everybody's going to go to put their land in Solace and Esperanza and Fortune, and having active zones versus having an area that feels a little bit dead or less populated. Even though all the land is sold out, we want to make sure that there's enough gameplay and community in certain regions. And so we're looking at, and let me just preface this by saying that none of the following that you're about to hear is set in stone. We're exploring some ideas that increases player empowerment, that increases community, that increases gameplay, that solves a variety of problems. And it's all very complicated as well. So it's not something that we've been planning this for the past 4 to 6 months. It's not something that we're taking lightly. We're putting a good amount of energy into the back and forth of what this is and how it's going to work. So none of it is set in stone. However, this is what we've been planning to solve a variety of problems, like I just said. We want to enable you guys to move your properties around. So Rob's reaction is solid. Okay, Rob likes it. No, if you can move your property around, and then there's rarity based lockups. So the NFT could be the license to have a property somewhere in Cornucopias, and you can lock that property up for a period of time. The only way that you lose the rights to that property would be if you stopped coming into the game and you didn't do certain things that helped you to keep that property, which would be very simple things like just coming in.
Just to clarify, the property address, not the actual property. Anything you build on your NFT will remain within your NFT.
Yes, that would still transfer.
Address.
So if you moved, everything you built up on that property would move with it. Correct. Good point. And if a property comes available because somebody wasn't maintaining or getting into the game, and that property came available, then that means you can go, and that's one that you really wanted, you can go grab it. If you're really in the game, active, playing a ton, this is empowering to those people that are really wanting to play, because it gives you a new strategy, a new game loop, so to speak, because you can look for upgrades, or hey, maybe you want to move into a new neighborhood with your friends, or you want to go to be with the guilds, or whatever it may be. You get to change your location. So you might have your eye on a variety of properties, and one waterfront location comes up in a town that's really active, or close to a town that's really active that you play in a lot. You can move there. So it's a fun new kind of loop involved in the game where you get to move around. Rob, what's your take?
It's definitely a change. And we're a Web3 game, so people actually own the NFT itself. Now there is a chance that people could lose that NFT, and if that happens, then what we don't want.
No. They don't lose the NFT.
No, in real life, people could lose wallets. Wallets addresses.
Right.
That's what I mean.
That's what you mean.
Or people could lose access to them.
Yeah.
So if that happens, we don't want towns where land is just dead forever. So that was that's probably the biggest challenge that we have to face with the design of this game. How for me that's one of the biggest challenges. But having the ability to to move your property, and there'll be some barriers in there. We won't let you move every day and stuff like that. There might be a cost. It might be an in-game cost. There might be a COPI cost. We're still defining those rules. But I think it's super exciting. No longer do you have to get almost like, you've got an electric car, you want to go out somewhere and you think, all right, where am I going to charge it? I don't want to get stuck. Exactly the same with the land. If you choose a location and that location's not quite working out for you for some reason, maybe all your mates or some things are happening, you want to be somewhere else, then you could look at moving it. It doesn't have to be permanently. You could go and move. But more importantly, if I own a property in Solace, there'll be people thinking, do I want to put it down in Solace or do I want to wait for Esperanza? Will there be FOMO? Will I now have to go out and buy another land plot? Well, no. Now you can all start playing in Solace 1 if you like, then move to Solace 2, then 3, move around as much as you want. Esperanza comes out, move over to Esperanza. Fortune comes out, move over to Fortune. And so now your NFTs are anywhere within those 3 zones. So for me, that makes that super exciting, and even more reason now to actually own that land deed. So all we're talking about is moving your address. So yes, if a property expires for some reason because people are not playing the game or they're not logging in to renew that land plot, then all those items will still be saved in the database. If that player comes back, they can come back. They've probably lost the location they were at. They've probably lost their address, but they can go and choose another address. There's thousands to choose from.
Yeah, and there's further with the rarities. So there's benefits of having a mythic versus a common, or each. The more rare it gets, the longer the lockup period. And also just for anyone's a heads up that we're not going to have it where you got to log in 5 times a day or 1 time a day. It needs to be. It's going to be reasonable, completely reasonable to maintain your property.
It could be season based, like
yeah,
you say.
And that's more like real life. You own a property. There's a property tax that you pay. If you don't pay your property tax, you're going to lose your property. This is somewhat similar. You're getting the rights to digital property inside the game, and there's a degree of maintaining that to keep that property that you have to have, and that creates rewards for the players that are in there and active and really participating in what we're doing here. It empowers the players.
The questions are all about what if somebody then sells the NFT, and at this stage the address will go with the NFT. But obviously, if that new owner doesn't go in and follow
Correct.
the same rules that everyone else is,
yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah,
then they will lose that address. But
which means that
keep
they need to be warned. So that'll be a UI challenge for us. We need to create the warning setup for anybody that's acquiring a property of a certain location. There's a good amount of complexity that we have to consider here, and that's why this is still not a set in stone final announcement. Rather, it's just letting you know transparently some things that we've been working on that we think will really empower you guys as players.
I mean, if I'm looking for a gift, for my friends, it was like, well, do I want to put one here? That might move on. That town might be there. Well, now it's almost like it's a gift to anywhere. Cornucopias is the gift that keeps giving.
So the final part that I alluded to, in regards to how to our values, we've always started up with a value of really empowering the players, utilizing blockchain technology through ownership of assets, etc. We've talked of a DAO, and that planning is still underway. We do intend, as always, to gradually empower players more and more over time, gradually empower our ecosystem more and more over time through governance and voting and things of that nature. One element of that is in-game, and that would be something that we're looking at. This is also not set in stone, but we're looking at having a governor NFT. And basically what that means is the governor would be running a town. They would be likely have a city council. A lot of that is still in discussion how that would work. And they would be, this is something that can be a strategic, community. Another one of our values is community. So this creates a community focus within a certain town that can be a lot of fun, a collaborative focus, a strategic focus. It increases the gameplay. And the governor's role is to really build up the town and bring quality amenities and things to the town, to set the fee structure around land ownership and different fees that generate revenue for the town. And so there's a lot to that. And I realize that's probably throwing out a good amount of things that people are going to have a ton of questions on. We're still walking through all of this, but it is a way to also incentivize people to bring in more community into a certain area, which can make it a lot of fun.
Yeah, we want feedback. We've been planning this for a long time. We're going to set up a couple of new channels within Discord where all that discussion can happen. We always look at it, but it'll be nice to have a concentrated chat. So people will have opposite opinions on what we've just said. Some people won't like the land to move. Some people will. Some people won't like the idea of a town governor. Some people will. There's a lot of towns with the power now to that we're talking about of being able to move your land. If you don't like your governor, you can just move. So that was a really important aspect as well. So I think both of these discussions go hand in hand with each other. But it'd be fun. It'd be fun to have your town vote and on different upgrades, and then the governor and his council maybe can choose. Do you want a bridge to go here? Do you want a certain ornament? Do you want a fountain? All these kind of things to make your town more attractive. What other actual gameplay amenities do you want that where other players can come in and then we'll obviously have town versus town competitions and it. Yeah, I think it opens up to a whole new level.
There would be town metrics for how's the town doing, what's the population. There'd be certain milestones you're charged with, and this is another way for us to increase players and help landowners as well, because landowners want people getting on their property and using it in some cases because it can help generate COPI flow for them. So the landowners want their land to be utilized. So it helps. It's a collaborative effort that brings many people together towards a common purpose and improving a town and over time. And so it does create an alignment as well within anyone that's in a particular town, which is also a lot of fun. So that combined with being able to move your property creates a very unique new gameplay loop, player empowerment. There's so much to this that it is a very complicated idea. We're still iterating through all sorts of problems that it creates as well. And how do we solve these, and how do we really make this something that's powerful and good? It's exciting.
Yeah.
You and I have spent a ton of time going back and forth with that document, and it's not even close to done. Ben's working on some of the financial metrics of it and how's that going to work for the landholders, for the COPI rewards, because COPI rewards have been allocated to our game infrastructure and to going out into the players and et cetera. And so this is one area where that gets to really play out as well.
Yeah. Who knows, you could have town to town alliances, maybe across the sectors as well. If your governor turns into Trump and wants to put tons of tariffs here, there and everywhere, I'd just be on my bike. So there's an incentives for that governor to make it attractive.
By any means.
Yeah, it's exciting.
We're dodging the political statements here.
And it will also be some NFTs that you can earn. So they're not all going to be NFTs.
Oh, yeah. Good point. Thank you for bringing that up. Yes, so these governor NFTs, some will be sold and some will be earned through gameplay. And how that plays out exactly and what the details are on that, I'm not sure yet. But that also means that there will be towns that are Cornucopias run as well, to make sure that there's enough going on in certain areas, and we build that out based upon data that we have about what's going on in Solace 1, what's going on in Solace 2, what's going on in this town. And that'll allow us to create populated areas that are busier, possibly less less NPCs in that area or whatever. There will be a balance that we need to work.
We're going to try and
out.
make gameplay fair, but obviously there's so many variables within a game that we have to.
Yeah, and there's a huge strategy and gameplay loop here now that is going to be a lot of fun as well. So we're curious what your feedback is on it. That brings us to the questions segment of the show. You ready to ask me a few questions, Rob?
I'll have a look. Where did we save them? I came out and came back in. Okay, so question 1 is from Miggy Forksy. Interesting name. Hey all, does anybody know if the 30-day window to collect the reward copy for Copic stake pool on drip drops will be extended? Might not make sense if the quantities are so small.
The 30-day window, I'm not exactly. So yes, this is important because we made an announcement on May 17th. So if you look in the announcements channel, you'll see the details. The Copic pool, those rewards have ended from the Copic pool perspective. That loyalty program right now, there's a lot of details on it. Go to the announcements channel. We're still giving Copic rewards, but it's gone down to a 5% pool. So you're earning ADA in that pool still. It's more like a regular stake pool that also gets you Copic rewards on a daily basis as well. And so that period that he's talking about is the period of time that you have to claim your Copic on drip drops. I'm not sure on that being extended or anything like that. But what has extended is we're still carrying on the pool. There's going to be a new loyalty program in the future where we'll provide more Copic rewards. But currently, the pools are still very strongly incentivized as you earn ADA and also Copic in addition to that every epoch. Okay, what's next question?
Question 2 from Senil GG. How is the progress on Epic Games? Are we getting to the spot where Epic Games can happen by the end of the year? And will all zones be out? Land grab done, building, crafting, mining, all out, everything.
Yes, we should be able to be on Epic before the end of the year. We should have quite a few. Like we're really nearing the place with this current build that we're about to release, where it's a lot closer to mainstream expectations for a pre-alpha game. But I think we're gonna be in alpha well before the end of the year, assuming no major complications. Because also, just another heads up for you guys, while we've been resolving bugs for this current release, we've been building and working on the Rift combat and some of the things that are coming in the next release, which is great because we haven't lost pace on some of those things, which really helps us. That next release is the one where we are targeting a Epic launch. So that's the answer to that one. Regarding all zones, no, all zones will not likely be released, or Solace, Esperanza, and Fortune will not likely be out before the end of this year. However, the land grab will definitely have occurred, and Esperanza is likely out before the end.
Yeah, fairly sure Esperanza will be out soon.
Yeah. So
and also, yeah, like you say, we've been working on crafting for a few months now.
Crafting, mining, that's a lot of these things are happening in parallel, and mining's coming out with this current build. That just means
the
we'll
mine
be doing
is a couple of mines are not the functionality to actually
not
mine.
the full loop, but
yeah.
But that will be growing, and we'll be iterating on it. You'll be able to get in there and do that. So crafting, mining, and what was the other? Was there something else? Crafting and mining.
Well, we're working on the apartment
No, I mean
builder.
from the questions.
We're working on the apartment builder, which is also the same system that's going to be worked. It's going to be used for the land, and all these systems together are the foundational systems for custom domes as well. So we've not forgotten about those. In fact, the whole land system basically is one large custom dome. If you think about it, it's just a multiplayer custom dome. When we figured out how to do that, to take that into a single user owner is a lot simple.
Yep. Yeah. So a lot of fun stuff coming, folks. Hang in there with us. It's so much bigger than any of us really even know yet. We've been building towards that original vision for quite a while now, which is something that no game's really done well. Star Citizen did it fairly well with creating this digital sense of life. We're doing that in a major way, which is a lot of what people incorporated or called a metaverse or whatever. But this is like, it's so huge what's happening here, and so many of the pieces are coming together this year. It creates a very and the demand for it is proven. I mean, Star Citizen and what they did, that was the highest funded game of all time. Because they're not at release yet, and that you could still play it, but that's huge. That's showing huge demand for a lot of what we're doing. Players want this. And this digital sense of life and what we're building here is going to be incredibly powerful. And so many of the elements come together this year to where we've proven that we can execute. And then it's about just adding content after content after content.
Yeah, I think if you look at the how traditional games and other games roll out, you first see them on Epic as like a wish list or on Steam. And then you see the alpha version. Mm-hmm. So our game has been live 24/7 for almost 2 years now in pre-alpha. So you've been able to play our game 2 years before any a traditional game would even show you that the game is being developed. Mm-hmm. So we're working on all that tech in real time. When alpha comes out, what alpha means is that we have majority of the early loops in place, still contain a ton of bugs and still a ton of development to happen, but you should have a fully functional game with an early economy, early gameplay all around, and everybody's seen some of the gameplay, and you will definitely see lots more now over the next few months leading up to that. So then after the alpha is released, that's when we'll start doing proper marketing as well, and that's when we'll see a big influx of players. Mm-hmm. And then the next period going through alpha is actually building on top of all those loops and adding lots and lots of content, adding more features and perfecting some of those features until we get to the beta version. And beta version then really is the game could be released, but we still want to do a little bit more polishing, and that's when we do more optimizations, although we're doing lots of optimizations already. So we're doing a lot of these steps. So I kind of envisage a shorter beta period than would be normal. And then obviously we're in live service. But for me, the game's live now.
Yeah, it is. Because you can go play right now. But when you get more technical, that's more of the answer for you. Well, that brings us to our leak section. So, what we're going to do for this one? We're just going to throw a few photos of what's going on in the current build that's coming out soon, and you can check those out. And that's about it for today. So, thanks for watching COPICafe, episode 128, and we will see you on the next one.
Bye-bye.
Threes all up in black. Gas tank full, let's hit the track.